If I live in not trusting every single day, I get what I say I don't want. I get disconnection, I get loneliness, I get suffering, I get fear. I have all these feelings I don't want to feel. Welcome, my name is Jessica Lewis. I'm the founder of Rise Up Queens, where I help women step into the freedom that Christ died for. Here on this channel, you will find many topics on physical intimacy, porn and working through that in your marriage, communication, triggers, and so much more. I hope you dive in with me and subscribe and create the best marriage you possibly can with your spouse right now. So today we're going to talk about how to work through triggers around unfaithfulness or mistrust. So I have 4 points for you today, how to work through that. We were recently at an event together, and Skylar and I were sitting on a couch, and there was a lady that walked by, so innocently. She walked by with big breasts, big butt, really tight dress, and we both noticed her. And my heart is probably already racing if I check in, right? And Skylar and I are talking, and I happened to point to a party that was happening that way, and we both look over. And she has walked by this time, and she is in the exact spot where we're looking. So Skylar, an innocent bystander in this scenario, I am then starting to race. I'm like, wait, did he want to look? Did he, my brain, I got hijacked, completely hijacked. We call it an amygdala hijack. And so I am racing inside, totally triggered in mistrust, unfaithfulness, just all of it. Like I am amped up. And so I said, hey babe, I'm working through it right now in my brain. Can I say some things out loud and you not take it personal? Because I'm super triggered right now. And he's like, sure, what's going on? And I was like, well, did you mean to look, right? Did you do the second look? And he's like, no, you were totally talking and pointed over there, right? Again, innocent bystander. But what had happened was in my body, not even wanting to, I got taken over in my brain. The only thing that could go through it was, I'm gonna lose him, he's gonna leave me, he's going to cheat on me. And so I had to calm myself down and check into what's really going on. I wanted to get to my core belief. What am I believing in this moment? And so I checked in, I was like, do I believe Skylar would cheat on me? Like 100% no, he wouldn't cheat on me. But that's what it felt like in my body. It was almost shocking when I asked myself the question, slow down a little bit, like, no, he wouldn't cheat on me. And so I was like, okay, well, what am I believing right now? Well, and then I went a little further. I was like, well, I'm believing he might lie in the beginning. And I was like, well, is that true? I'm like, well, no, because Skylar always, even if it's timidly, even if it's with not as many details as I would like, he always comes out with the truth. And so I had to distill it down to what is the truth in this scenario? Well, the truth in this scenario is that for the last 16 years, even if Skylar doesn't come out with the truth immediately, he does come out with the truth. And so I was able to plant my flag on that belief that I can trust Skylar to come out with the truth. Like Skylar is trustworthy and he is faithful, even when my body begins to react. And so now what I'm doing is so that I can work through these triggers as they come up. Thankfully, I haven't had another trigger recently. Let's go to a beach and test this thing out, baby. But in private, so each day, now I'm reinforcing that belief so in private, I'm reinforcing that Skylar is trustworthy and he will tell me the truth and he is faithful to me, which he has been. So that when the trigger comes up, my brain already knows exactly what I believe. So daily, I am reinforcing that, saying that out loud, saying it to myself with my affirmations, because that is true. And so what are you focused on, right? If you get triggered when there's a look that happens, or if something pops up on his phone, or he's looking at something that does a double take, are you practicing in private what you want to do on the spot? Because what I found is that it was easy for me to not trust. So most days for a while, I would not trust him. I would live in fear, and it would create a lot of isolation and loneliness. I don't know if you can relate to this, but I would not trust. And it also created disconnection. But essentially what I discovered was that, you know what? If I live in not trusting every single day, I get what I say I don't want. I get disconnection. I get loneliness. I get suffering. I get fear. I have all these feelings I don't want to feel. So I was like, what if I just decided to trust? What if I decided to step into faith? Because I can't control whether he does something anyways. What if I decided to step into faith and receive connection, receive peace, receive joy, but do it in a way where I'm not naive or blind? See, we believe there's 3 different levels of trust. So there's naive trust that a child has with a parent, just completely naive, that no one's going to hurt me. They're always going to be there for me, right? And some of you operate in your marriage in naive trust. Then there's blind trust, where you've proven yourself to me, but then I take my eyes off of you and I don't pay attention to what's going on, and I just hope that you will continue to show up as faithful. And those both set you up for sometimes failure, because we can't naively trust anyone. We're married to an imperfect human being, right? And blind trust, right? If they can show up trustworthy as one point, but am I paying attention to make sure that they haven't changed, their hierarchy of needs haven't changed, right? Where I believe the best place to be would be mature trust, right? Knowing that I am married to an imperfect human being. And I'm going to pay attention, and I'm going to notice, and I'm going to see, like, is he showing up? Is he present, right? Am I feeding into the marriage, and know that he's capable of things and I'm capable of things just as much. So if I sit in this mature trust place, I can know that I can receive connection, and I can know I don't have to focus on the fear of, well, what if this happens? Because eventually I started to track it, right? I started to track, like, is he faithful, right? Am I living in a reality? Am I looking for what's right, or am I looking for what's wrong? And a lot of our marriage, I was looking for what was wrong, and I was focused on the fear and the worry and the anxiety and the disconnection versus the connection that was right in front of me. I have a husband that will walk in the room and light up when I am there and run towards me. And for years, I missed that because I was stuck in fear and worry. And it didn't serve our marriage. It caused me to self-protect. And I got sick and tired of not feeling connected and joyful and passionate. But he didn't change. I had to change. I had to check into what I'm focusing on. And am I bringing the connection and the passion and the joy that I desire? Because there wasn't much else that he could do. I had to get out of fear. I had to choose to have faith in mature trust, watching our circumstances, watching our interactions, and being intentional in showing up. So I would challenge you, if you don't trust, I would challenge you to break down what exactly you don't trust with your spouse. Do you trust that he won't cheat on you? Do you trust that he'll come home at night? Can you trust him with your emotions? Do you trust him with the kids? Do you trust him to take out the trash? See, trust has many, many layers to it. And sometimes we blanket, well, I don't trust him. So what exactly do you not trust? Are there things that you can trust? What are the things that you can trust him with? And then I would challenge you to build upon the things that you can trust in him. See, our brains are great at gathering evidence for the beliefs that we have. So if you have the belief that he is untrustworthy, you will gather evidence every single day that he is not trustworthy. And when I work with women at Rise Up Queens and in our events, I challenge them to begin to gather evidence of things, other things, and see, are there any ways that he is trustworthy? Because if I believe that if you really checked in, there are some ways. If he comes home every night, like, he is trustworthy in coming home, right? There are ways, but our brain doesn't focus on those. And so where is your focus in the relationship? Are you focused on what's missing, what's not right, what's lacking? Or are you focused on what is working, what's growing, and where you guys are going? See, when I focus on what's missing, I create a lot of pain and destruction and despair and withdrawal inside me. So I'm in control, and my focus dictates whether I feel great connection and joy and passion in my relationship, or the exact opposite, regardless of what Skylar does. And yes, he can contribute to that, but I am in control of so much of the state of my relationship. So I would challenge you to jot down and journal through triggers as they come up. When there's triggers and unfaithfulness, what I have found when I was thinking about the lady, my part in that was, part of it was sin. I was jealous and I compared myself to her. When I got to the root of what was actually going on with me, it was that I had to be something voluptuous and big in different areas in order to be loved. But that's not the truth. Skylar loves me exactly how I am. I love my body exactly how I am. And so that was my part. So jealousy and comparison were things that the Lord wants to work on in me. But if I was so focused on Skylar, I would have missed those moments. And so when triggers come up, just know that you are not alone in that, and that is okay. Our body remembers trauma. Our body remembers hard things. And so when that comes up in you, I would give yourself patience and grace and create a space for you to begin to heal those things so you can discover what's underneath so that slowly they no longer have a hold on you. You aren't alone in this journey. And if you haven't seen a Rise Up Queens live event or experienced a live event, I would challenge you to click the link below and learn a little bit more about it as we go on this healing journey together. And if you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe.